You looking for horn. The mighty shadow Mr. Winston Bailey, he had a stern warning for any male who thought that he could just engage in a long-term relationship without solid financial backing. The discourse surrounding relationships in Trinbagonian music continues to be an interesting dynamic in any music really, but of course this is we thing here. And this shadow is another tune that contributes to that conversation. So let's look at this shadow classic from a literary lens. Where's the poetry? In Shadows, You're Looking For Horn. Now, Shadow himself is one of the greatest lyricists and calypsonians to ever live. He has craftiness, commitment to stage craft, and a masterful aura that will always be remembered. When we talk local greats, we talk in Shadow. The early 2000s classic begins with the establishment of two characters. We have two people talking, dialogue, a young man and apparently an older man. We'll find out more about him later. And we're in the middle of the conversation where the young man appears to ask for some relationship advice. He's looking to get married, ting. The older character in the poem immediately asks a few questions. You're working? To which in call and response fashion, the younger character replies that he's not working. The old man then engages in immediate ridicule, asking him, you're joking. In Trinbago, when we ask that question, it's usually rhetoric. In we mind, you done joking, you're a kicksy man already. And in this case, it acts as a statement with the older character saying that, Jed, you had to be kicksing. The older character doubles down on the ridicule by asking if he's stealing or if he's dealing as in drugs or probably gambling or some kind of thing. Of course, based on the texture of the conversation, we're not saying that the older man encouraging him to do a crime or illegal activities, but he's using that kind of cynicism, sarcasm to really mock the young man's intention. From this early conversation, the rest of the text reinforces that to be married or to have the respect of a woman, there must be some sort of financial stability. I like the uniformity of the questions throughout the piece, if you watch it here. Why you want to marry? You don't have no money. You ain't working no way. You don't have a payday. If you count it back, what you notice? 6 syllables. 6 syllables of intense interrogation and underhanded ridicule. Note how payday, that term payday is a synecdoche for employment, and not just employment but enjoyment. Employment, enjoyment, and you'll see that rhyme coming down a little further. The older character then makes it very clear to him, without money to buy honey, you're heading for misery. Nice internal rhymes. Honey, of course, being a metaphor for the sweet love and commitment of a woman. We talk about the internal rhyme, money, honey, misery. Then there's our next line. She wants hairdo and callaloo and you don't have nothing. Hairdo, another synecdoche or a symbol for all the needs of a woman in terms of beauty products and penny-wise extravagance. And the callaloo, another symbol or synecdoche for groceries and things to cook. You know, the general well-being of the household. You're not just talking about callaloo alone. The callaloo represents several things. You have to pick up on that. And that is in all these things the woman wants in stark contrast to the man who apparently have nothing. The chorus is not questioning though. It's a direct statement that somebody will horn you. He wished the youth man all the best, but he considers it to be a senseless endeavor. Employment before enjoyment. Then employment will lead to enjoyment, as I said earlier. A nice perfect rhyme to drive the point home. And also look how inclusive the man is. He includes trades and good grades in his questioning. So when the young man says no in that particular part of the song, the ridicule restarts. You're a smart man or a magician is what the older man wants to know. You're trying something, you had to be under something. Of course, again, teasing him using that ridicule, that sarcasm. Marriage goes beyond the love factor, especially if you consider that Shadow's writing has always included poverty. Poverty is hell, etc., etc. He putting that poverty at the fore. Now, when we analyze blacks, I think we looked at the potential negativity that could shine on a woman who does not want only one man, but she's moving from man to man. Here, I think that the assessment is a bit more logical because any reasonable thinking man must consider these things. You can't marry a woman and then draw her into a hole of poverty. Come out first. or at least expect that someone else who is providing for the woman will experience your honey. That is basically what Shadow's saying there. If you can't provide, another man will provide and provide everything. So quick note, if you go outside the lyrics and recognize that the horns in the song itself are given their own chorus in the song, ain't that apt? But of course, it's something Shadow does a lot. In the final stanza, we realize that the characters have a relationship. The older man seems to be his godfather, and he's saying that he must marry Rosita. That's what the boy is saying. I must marry Rosita because she's pretty. Despite all the advice the man now gets, he's still overwhelmed by looks. If Rosita is smart enough, she too will assess the situation and say no. And the older man doubling down, and you just can't do that. Now, an important thing happens in this question in here. The young man says he's not lazy. I think that's important. So the older man even more bewildered, like you're not lazy. So what you doing with your big self? You just sit down there? Nah, man. My favorite part, of course, is the image in the last pre-chorus. Friday evening, people passing with box of fried chicken. That's real nostalgic, eh? Real nostalgic. You remember when Friday was the only day people used to buy fast food for the week and everybody coming with their little box and thing? Oh, you remember that? No, you can't, because we buy it every day now. Anyway, so here we have the image of people going home at the end of the week with their fast food and the young man just in our old shoe grinning at how pretty Rosita is. And Rosita obviously feeling to clout him. I think the strength of that image should allow our young friend in these verses to reconsider. And who knows, maybe he did. What y'all think? You need money to marry, or you could just dive into love? Well, you already know what I think. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. This stern warning with its uniformity, simplicity, and sound imagery gets 8.3 out of 10 on the poetry scale. There's the poetry in Shadows. You're looking for horn. Nice. But I'm out. Listen, all references we use and the lyrics to anything we use are right in the description below this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you appreciated the content, and if there's some text that you want us to analyze, just drop it in the comments below. We'll get to it and find out where's the poetry.